Moonlight was like water, its faint silver radiance spilling across the deep, quiet, and seemingly endless forest. From time to time, a beast's roar echoed from the depths, adding a trace of eeriness and terror to the otherwise tranquil woods. Xiao Yan sat cross-legged inside a cave, resting with his eyes closed. Suddenly, the moonlight in the sky seemed to be swallowed by dark clouds, and its gentle glow vanished completely. The entire vast forest was instantly engulfed by a massive shadow. Xiao Yan's expression changed slightly. He opened his eyes and walked out of the cave to look up at the sky. There, he saw an unimaginably huge black bird covering the heavens. Its shadow cast upon the ground turned the entire forest dim and gray. Xiao Yan held his breath as he stared at the colossal creature. The black bird's wings, when fully spread, stretched for tens of thousands of zhang. Its black feathers shone like tempered iron, as if brimming with boundless power. After a moment, the giant black bird finally flew past the forest. Deep shock remained in Xiao Yan's eyes. Before he could recover, the bird suddenly let out a clear cry. At that instant, Xiao Yan felt as if his mind had split apart, as though it was about to explode. Immediately after, a soft shout rang out, easing much of his pain. Then Xiao Yan heard an aged voice coming from the distant sky. "Ancient Mystic Sparrow, our Barbarian Domain comes with no ill intent. We are merely here to test the strength of the younger generation of our clans." As the voice spoke, a bronze warship thousands of zhang in size, exuding an ancient, primordial aura, emerged from space. Xiao Yan's eyes surged with heavenly flame as he looked toward the distant sky. However, a layer of light film seemed to envelop the bronze warship, blocking his perception. "The Barbarian Domain. Which king's manor are you from?" After a brief moment, the thunderous voice of the black giant bird rumbled back. "Old man from a northern barbarian king manor, Man Cunnin." The aged voice hesitated slightly before replying. "Northern barbarian king manor." The black giant bird fell silent for a moment. It said nothing more. With a long cry toward the sky, it flapped its massive wings a few times and vanished from sight. On the bronze warship, the aged voice seemed to let out a sigh of relief. Then the warship trembled and disappeared once more into space. After the bronze warship had been gone for a long time, Xiao Yan finally came back to his senses. He let out a long breath, the shock in his eyes gradually fading, and muttered, "That is what true experts are. Flame dragon charge." A furious roar rang out. Immediately, a fire dragon about 6 to 7 zhang long shot out from Xiao Yan's hand, roaring as it violently struck the massive body of a powerful gray bear. The bear let out a few roars before the light in its eyes gradually faded. Finally, it collapsed unwillingly. Xiao Yan stepped forward and sensed the somewhat depleted primordial emperor qi within his body, unable to help but sigh. Although this big guy is at the late 6-star level, defeating it shouldn't have been difficult. Still, the level of my cultivation technique is too low. He casually tossed a qi restoration pill into his mouth, quickly replenishing the expended primordial emperor qi. The flame mantra had become a mid-emperor tier technique, which was certainly a good thing, but only mid-emperor tier. Compared to the vast pressure Xiao Yan felt from the giant blackbird and the old man on the bronze warship last night, a mid-emperor tier technique was far too weak to meaningfully improve his strength. He did not dare to waste it at all. In battle, he could only resolve enemies in the shortest time possible. Otherwise, he would be the one in trouble. And this was currently the most helpless situation Xiao Yan faced. After his primordial emperor qi had fully recovered, Xiao Yan sensed that it had become slightly more condensed than before, and he smiled faintly. At this rate, he estimated that in a little over 10 days he would be able to break through to the mid-6-star level. Combat truly was the fastest way to increase one's strength. Storing away the Earth Shatter Bear's magic core, Xiao Yan turned and ran toward the other side of the forest. Although the Sky Phoenix wings could now allow him to fly dozens of meters above the ground, Xiao Yan still tried to avoid using them as much as possible. This was also part of his own idea, Running was also a form of cultivation. Just as he crossed over a hill, Xiao Yan's expression changed, and then he let out a wry smile. At the foot of the hill, a man was currently engaged in a fierce battle with a magical beast. Xiao Yan's gaze swept over the sturdy but gloomy-faced man, and he shook his head slightly, muttering to himself, "Isn't this guy just courting death? Only 1-star Dou strength. He must be cultivating on his own like I am." Unfortunately, he just entered the forest domain and ran into a peak 4-star magical beast. His luck really is terrible. Xiao Yan only watched without any intention of saving him. Right now, he could barely take care of himself, let alone rescue another 1-star Dou. He would not create unnecessary trouble for himself if he could avoid it. As expected, that 1-star Dou, even with all his strength and roaring desperately, was easily killed by the nearly 5-star level magical beast. Seeing this, Xiao Yan immediately rushed forward, not to avenge the man, but to obtain the 5-star magical beast's magic core. The magical beast, which was about to clean up the Dou it had just killed, noticed another human arriving, and a flash of joy appeared in its eyes. It let out a roar and charged toward Xiao Yan. "Get lost!" Xiao Yan waved his hand, and a 6 to 7 zhong fire dragon roared out, striking the beast's massive body and knocking it back more than 10 meters. Roar! The magical beast roared furiously, its eyes blood-red as it charged forward again in a frenzy. "Just a mere 5-star Dou magical beast, and you dare act so arrogantly." Xiao Yan once again executed Flame Dragon Charge, while simultaneously taking out the mysterious heavy ruler. Without the slightest mercy, he smashed it down toward the beast's head. The next moment, a sound like a watermelon exploding rang out as the beast's skull shattered into pieces. Xiao Yan let out a cold snort. His left hand was wrapped by the pure Lotus demon flame as he directly reached into the beast's chest cavity. After searching for a moment, he pulled out a pale, yellow magic core. Xiao Yan smiled faintly and was about to leave when he suddenly noticed a highly illusory soul drifting out from the beast's head, attempting to escape. Instinctively, he grabbed it. The soul let out a piercing cry and struggled violently. But under the pure Lotus demon flame, it continued to wail as it was gradually suppressed. Only lower world magical beasts that have taken human form can possess souls after advancing to Dou. Why do native magical beasts of the great world also have souls? Xiao Yan stared blankly at the dying soul within the flames and said in shock, "The only explanation seems to be that this fellow once devoured other Dou from the lower world and accidentally fused their souls," Xiao Yan pondered. However, Dou body, magic core, and Dou soul. Perfect materials to refine a Dou puppet. With a faint smile, Xiao Yan stored the deceased Dou body into his storage ring, then placed the nearly extinguished soul into a white jade bottle. He sealed the bottle mouth with a strand of primordial emperor qi, chuckled softly, and then hurried out of the forest. Inside a cave, Xiao Yan took out the Dou corpse, the white jade bottle containing the soul, and a 5-star late-stage Dou magical beast magic core. A 5-star Dou magic core was neither the best nor the worst. According to Xiao Yan's plan, the puppet he refined would at most be a Dou, which would not be of much help to him now or in the future and would eventually be discarded. There was no need to use the highest quality magic core. Of course, even if it might be discarded later, he could not be careless. After all, this thing could sometimes save lives. Xiao Yan would never joke with his own life. A Dou level puppet. I wonder if the method used to refine the celestial demon puppet will work. Let's try it. With a soft sigh, Xiao Yan waved his left hand, and the glazed emperor flame enveloped the Dou corpse. After completing this step, he closed his eyes. Simply refining the body alone would take several days, so during this time, he could only focus on cultivation. Outside the cave, day and night alternated repeatedly, yet Xiao Yan never stepped outside even once. In front of him, within a multicolored flame, a small, severely disfigured corpse was quietly being burned. Before he knew it, 5 days had passed. When the sixth day arrived, the flames refining the Dou D corpse inside the cave still had not extinguished. However, the corpse inside had already shrunk by more than half. At a certain moment, Xiao Yan's tightly closed eyes slowly opened, and two faint golden dragon-shaped flames streaked across his pupils like meteors. Xiao Yan stretched his body and said with a smile, "I didn't expect to reach the mid-six-star realm in just these few days." And vaguely, I can already sense the barrier leading to the late six-star stage. Feeling the origin Emperor Qi within him surging smoothly like a flowing river, Xiao Yan could not help but laugh. In less than 3 months, he had advanced from a 2-star Dou D to the mid-6-star stage. That alone was enough to satisfy him. Strength. Xiao Yan exhaled softly and looked outside the cave. Gazing at the vast, boundless forest, he clenched his fists tightly and muttered, "I will definitely return to the academy." His sharp yet slightly gaunt face gained an even stronger look of determination at that moment. The body has been refined as well. Xiao Yan turned around and looked at the 7 colored flames that were gradually dying out. With a wave of his hand, the flames transformed into a streak of light and entered his body. The newly refined body then appeared before him. The body was extremely pale, devoid of any trace of blood color. Only the head retained its original appearance. Xiao Yan had long since grown accustomed to such sights. Clenching his right fist, he struck the body's chest and head with lightning speed, blasting 2 fist-sized holes through them. Not a single drop of blood flowed from the wounds. With another movement of his hand, a faintly red magic core fell directly into the hole in the body's chest. Then Xiao Yan took out the white jade bottle and removed the seal of Primordial Emperor Qi from its mouth. The moment the Primordial Emperor Qi seal was removed, an extremely faint soul drifted out. Trying to escape? Having already covered the entire cave with his soul power, Xiao Yan immediately detected the soul. He let out a cold laugh and shot a flame from his hand. The flame transformed into a fiery net, and amid the soul's terrified screams, the net wrapped tightly around it. With a beckoning gesture from Xiao Yan, the fire net carrying the soul descended into the hole in the body's head. After finishing all this, Xiao Yan continued tempering the body with heavenly flame for several more days, until the originally thin frame once again regained its sturdy and powerful appearance. 6 days passed in the blink of an eye. When Xiao Yan opened his eyes once more, the body lying silently on the ground suddenly moved. It slowly opened its golden eyes. After a brief pause, it leaped to its feet and stood firmly before Xiao Yan without moving an inch. Xiao Yan examined the puppet. Its appearance was nearly identical to before, though its eyes were hollow and lifeless. Yet its powerful physique seemed to be filled with boundless strength. It possesses roughly the power of the late 6-star stage. Not bad. This puppet turned out quite well. Xiao Yan felt the puppet's firm muscles and left his soul imprint within it. Smiling slightly, he said, "As for your name, you shall be called D.E." The puppet nodded expressionlessly and replied in a stiff voice, "D.E. greets master." Satisfied, Xiao Yan nodded and stored D.E. inside his storage ring. Feeling the origin Emperor Qi surging vigorously within his body, excitement appeared on his face. The puppet issue is settled. Now I could try breaking through to the late 6-star stage. Taking a deep breath, Xiao Yan glanced at the cave entrance blocked by a massive boulder. After some thought, he moved it aside. Feeling the flow of Primordial Emperor Qi become much smoother, he flicked a finger, and D.E. instantly appeared at the entrance, standing guard. Its emotionless eyes remained fixed on the outside world without blinking. After giving careful instructions to protect the area, Xiao Yan sat down cross-legged and slowly closed his eyes. With a movement of his mind, he activated the Primordial Emperor Qi within his body, sending it rapidly through his meridians. At the same time, the Primordial Emperor Qi throughout the cave seemed to respond to his summons and slowly flowed toward him. Pink flames covered Xiao Yan's body. Although much of the Primordial Emperor Qi was consumed after passing through the flames, what remained became far purer. The pores across Xiao Yan's skin opened wide as he greedily absorbed the refined primordial emperor qi. Under his control, the primordial emperor qi entering his body traveled through every meridian before flowing into the origin emperor crystal in his dantian. At the same time, the refined primordial emperor qi stored within the origin emperor crystal circulated through his meridians, strengthening his bones and cells. Absorption and refinement formed a perfect grand cycle. Just as Xiao Yan felt himself about to break through the barrier to the late 6-star stage, a furious roar suddenly erupted from outside. The next moment, DE was violently blasted against the cave wall, causing rocks to crash down throughout the cave. Roar! Another roar followed. A giant white ape stepped toward the cave. Its entire body was snow white, and it possessed 4 enormous arms. Its eyes glowed with bloodthirsty crimson light as it advanced with low growls. Boom! DE, who had been sent flying by the giant ape's punch, climbed back to his feet. Stamping heavily on the ground, he charged toward the beast. Seeing this, anger flashed through the giant ape's eyes. It swung its massive fist and smashed it toward the approaching DE. Dee's fist collided head-on with the giant ape's. A deafening explosion rang out. DE was blasted backward like a cannonball, flying several dozen feet before crashing heavily into the ground. The giant ape let out a triumphant howl and pounded its chest with all 4 arms. Then it turned toward the cave entrance. Amid the swirling dust, a young man dressed in black slowly walked out. At this moment, Xiao Yan's eyes were filled with helplessness. Just earlier, he had been about to break through to the late 6-star level in one go when the giant ape roared suddenly, causing a disturbance in his mind and wasting all his previous efforts. Xiao Yan looked toward the giant ape, whose 2 bell-sized eyes were now full of rage. Xiao Yan let out a bitter smile. What terrible luck! This cave he had chosen seemed to be this fellow's nest. Seeing that a human had truly entered its den, the giant ape's eyes instantly turned blood red. It roared furiously and charged over menacingly. Xiao Yan sighed inwardly. This giant ape's strength should be around the early 8-star Dou D level. With his own mid-6-star strength, defeating it would not be easy. Xiao Yan's body flashed, nimbly dodging the giant ape's furious strike. Seeing this, the ape grew even more enraged. It panted heavily and charged at Xiao Yan once again. Damn it! It's only an early 8-star magical beast. Does it really think it's invincible? Xiao Yan also grew angry. With a wave of his right hand, a 10-colored fire lotus quietly flew out, transforming into a brilliant streak of flame that shot toward the giant ape. The giant ape let out a low roar and threw a punch, striking the fire lotus head-on. The lotus instantly exploded, sending up a cloud of smoke. After launching the attack, Xiao Yan retreated swiftly. With a thought, a 7-zhong fire dragon appeared above his right hand. Flame Dragon Charge. Xiao Yan let out a low roar, and the fire dragon shot into the smoke like a meteor. Boom! A loud explosion echoed from within the smoke. It had clearly struck the giant ape solidly. Xiao Yan was delighted, and just as he was about to summon little E, the giant ape roared furiously and charged out of the smoke. Its blood-red eyes were locked tightly on Xiao Yan in the distance, its chest heaving violently. At this moment, the giant ape's thick white fur was heavily scorched in many places. One of its arms was the most severely injured. All the white fur on it had been burned away, revealing blood-red muscle as drops of blood dripped from the wound. Seeing that his attack had worked, Xiao Yan finally sighed in relief. Fortunately, this fellow's defense wasn't overly absurd. If it could be injured, then there was a chance of defeating it. His glazed Emperor Flame, after merging with the 9 profound Golden Thunder, had become many times more powerful than before. If he had not truly achieved the Dou D body, he would have already been devoured by the glazed Emperor Flame. Moreover, although this giant ape was stronger than him, his heavenly flame seemed to restrain it tightly. Thinking of this, the primordial Emperor Qi within Xiao Yan circulated faster, and the flames immediately grew stronger. At this moment, the giant ape had already rushed over, shielding its body with its arms, fists clenched tightly as it smashed toward Xiao Yan with immense force. Although its body was enormous, its speed was not slow. In just a few breaths, it was already right in front of Xiao Yan. Sizzle! Just as the massive fist was about to land on Xiao Yan, a brilliant firewall suddenly appeared in front of him. The terrifying punch struck the firewall, causing it to tremble violently. Sensing that the force in the fist was rapidly being dissolved by the firewall, a trace of panic flashed in the giant ape's eyes. It roared and quickly retreated several steps, staring warily at the fading firewall in front of Xiao Yan. Although Xiao Yan successfully blocked the punch, he was still forced back dozens of steps by the immense impact. His chest tightened, and he forcibly suppressed the surging blood within him. Glancing at the giant ape, Xiao Yan directly swallowed a few qi restoration pills, then took out the mysterious heavy ruler from his storage ring, which he had not used for a long time. Gripping it tightly, feeling the faint coldness in his hand, he exhaled lightly as the primordial emperor qi within him began circulating once more. Seeing this, the giant ape let out a low roar and actually pulled up a large tree from the side, thicker than Xiao Yan's waist, and swung it wildly with all four arms. A fierce glint flashed in Xiao Yan's eyes. Seeing the giant ape charging with the tree, he lightly flicked the mysterious heavy ruler, and raging flames instantly engulfed it. When the tree came crashing down toward his head, Xiao Yan swung the ruler to collide heavily with it. Chi-Chi, the mysterious heavy ruler, slashed into the tree, cutting off half of it, but the rebound force still pushed Xiao Yan back several steps. As expected, magical beasts have terrifying strength. Seeing that the giant ape only staggered slightly, Xiao Yan's eyes turned cold. He took the initiative to charge forward, but halfway there suddenly soared into the air. The giant ape was startled, looking up at the towering tree above, unable to find Xiao Yan's figure, and roared again. Suddenly, it instinctively threw out its left fist. Before the fist even arrived, a pitch-black heavy ruler had already slammed into the area where it had been injured earlier. After landing a hit, Xiao Yan flicked his shoulders and used the sky phoenix wings to narrowly avoid the giant ape's furious punch. However, his left shoulder was still brushed by the sharp wind of the punch. Xiao Yan's expression changed, and when he landed on the ground, he couldn't help but take a breath. Feeling his left shoulder, which seemed completely numb, he could only let out a bitter smile inwardly. Dou Sheng is divided into 9 stars. After the 9-star stage, when Qi condenses into Dao, one becomes an emperor soldier. Within the 9-star Dou Sheng realm, 1 star to 3 star is the early stage, 4 star to 6 star is the mid stage, and 7 star to 9 star is the late stage. Battles between individual stars are relatively easy, but cross-stage combat becomes increasingly difficult. Only those Dou Sheng who have reached the late stage are truly regarded as real Dou Sheng in the great world, because a 7-star Dou Sheng alone is enough to easily defeat 2 or 3 6-star Dou Sheng. The giant ape before him possessed the strength of an 8-star Dou Sheng. Just a stray fist wind that grazed Xiao Yan's shoulder had already numbed it completely. The gap between him and the giant ape was indeed enormous. This battle would likely be extremely troublesome. Struck fiercely at its wound by Xiao Yan's mysterious heavy ruler, the giant ape immediately let out a furious roar, pounding its chest like a berserk beast. Its bell-sized eyes were now completely blood-red. The already injured area gushed fresh blood, quickly staining its entire arm. The intense pain even made its roar tremble slightly. Its scarlet eyes locked tightly onto Xiao Yan as deep growls rumbled from its throat. With the strength of an 8-star Dou Sheng, it had actually been injured like this by a 6-star human Dou Sheng. The giant ape was filled with unwillingness. With a furious roar, it charged toward Xiao Yan. Feeling his left hand completely numb, Xiao Yan watched the charging giant ape with a flash of sharp light in his eyes. He stored the mysterious heavy ruler into his storage ring, flapped his sky phoenix wings to evade the ape's enraged strike, and at the same time clenched his right hand in midair. A 7 to 8 foot long fire dragon roared into existence. Under Xiao Yan's control, it shot toward the giant ape like a streak of light. The giant ape's forward momentum paused slightly. It let out a low growl and quickly raised its remaining 3 arms to shield its chest and head. The next moment, the fire dragon slammed heavily into its body. A thunderous explosion rang out as the giant ape roared in pain. Before the smoke had even dispersed, it charged out in fury. Just as it emerged, Xiao Yan had already rushed forward with a mysterious heavy ruler in hand. The giant ape extended a massive hand to block Xiao Yan's full-force strike. The impact forced Xiao Yan to retreat several steps. As the giant ape was about to charge again, a sharp pain suddenly erupted from its back. It couldn't help but roar, its body tilting as its forward momentum halted for an instant. Xiao Yan had been waiting for exactly this opening. His body flickered as he flapped his sky phoenix wings and charged again. At the same time, he gripped the mysterious heavy ruler tightly, and the remaining primordial emperor chi within his body was madly injected into his arms, causing the ruler to tremble slightly. At the same time, De, who had succeeded in his strike under Xiao Yan's control, rapidly retreated, narrowly avoiding the giant ape's punch. Seeing the mysterious heavy ruler already right before him, it was too late to defend. The giant ape's eyes flickered with red light. With a low roar, it did not dodge. All 3 arms clenched into fists and blasted toward Xiao Yan. Even if it meant severe injury, it intended to take Xiao Yan down. Seeing the 3 fists coming, Xiao Yan gritted his teeth. A wall of flames suddenly appeared in front of him. Without dodging, he swung the mysterious heavy ruler heavily toward the giant ape's head. Roar! The giant ape let out a tragic howl. 2 fists were blocked by the flame wall, while the third only grazed Xiao Yan's shoulder. Although it caused his body to tilt and the mysterious heavy ruler struck his right shoulder, the immense force still made the giant ape howl in pain. Reeling from the impact, Xiao Yan was knocked back several steps, and the mysterious heavy ruler slipped from his hand. After retreating 7 or 8 steps, his legs went weak, and he nearly collapsed. The depletion of his primordial emperor chi caused intense pain throughout his body. The previous strike felt as though it had hit steel, sending his blood and energy into turmoil. Glancing at the painfully howling giant ape in the distance, and sensing its weakened aura, Xiao Yan forced himself to regain focus. Moving his slightly recovered left arm, he tried to retrieve the mysterious heavy ruler lying nearby while the ape was still in pain. The moment he moved, the giant ape roared and charged again, reaching him in the blink of an eye. Its massive furry palm came crashing down. Xiao Yan's expression changed. With no time to evade, he could only meet it head-on. Netherworld palm. With a thought, a fiery palm wind met the giant ape's enormous hand. Crack! A clear bone-breaking sound rang out. Xiao Yan felt a dull pain in his chest and was instantly sent flying. His blood and energy surged violently. His right arm was nearly numb, and most of the bones in his hand were almost shattered. Although he was blasted away, this strike also triggered the giant ape's wound, causing another agonized roar. Xiao Yan's body crashed to the ground like a cannonball, shaking him as if his body were falling apart. Unable to recover, he endured the pain as little E appeared on his shoulder with a thought. Xiao Yan's eyes flashed with a hint of wry bitterness, and then he said without hesitation, "Little E, use Flame Lotus." Little E pouted and nodded. She looked seriously at the enormous giant ape not far away, stretched out her 2 small hands, and condensed 2 clusters of flames. The flames rotated slightly and transformed into 2 exquisitely beautiful, multicolored flame lotuses. Due to Xiao Yan's surge in strength, Little Yi's power also rose accordingly. Originally, she could only condense 3 colored flame lotuses at one time, but now she could form 2 5-colored flame lotuses in a single attempt. As soon as the flame lotuses were formed, They shot forward along elegant arcs straight toward the giant ape. The delicate flame lotuses slowly rotated, and the violent energy contained within them made even the giant ape feel tense. In less than a breath, the flame lotuses reached the giant ape and exploded with a thunderous blast amid its miserable screams, sending dust and debris flying everywhere. Without stopping, Little E immediately condensed flame lotuses again and threw them into the giant ape, causing even greater explosions within the billowing dust. The battle has gone on too long. If it doesn't end soon, other magical beasts will be attracted, and that will be troublesome, Xiao Yan thought as he struggled to his feet. Feeling a trace of recovered primordial emperor qi within his body, Xiao Yan swallowed the qi restoration pill held in his mouth. He then circulated his already scarce primordial emperor qi, once again on along the meridian route of flame dragon charge. After exhausting the last trace of primordial emperor qi in his body, Xiao Yan looked at the 6-long flame dragon roaring out from his left hand and quietly let out a breath of relief. He turned his gaze toward the smoke-filled area where flame lotuses continued to be thrown, listening to the giant ape's hoarse roars. Not daring to delay, he weakly waved his left hand, sending the flame dragon charging in. The moment it left his hand, Xiao Yan could no longer support his heavily injured body and collapsed to the ground. Roar! As the flame dragon rushed into the thick smoke, an even more tragic roar echoed out. The giant ape then burst out from the smoke. Its appearance was extremely miserable. Only 2 of its 4 arms remained. One arm was still bleeding profusely, hanging limply in the air, while its snow-white fur had been almost completely burned away. Its entire body was now drenched in blood. The giant ape stared at Xiao Yan with vicious hatred. Seeing that he was lying powerless on the ground, it let out a low growl and staggered toward him. Xiao Yan cursed inwardly and was about to summon D.E. when Little E, who had already suffered severe depletion from repeatedly throwing flame lotuses, suddenly shouted. Her small body turned into a streak of crimson golden light. Under Xiao Yan's shocked gaze, accompanied by a low, thunderous roar, she pierced through the giant ape's chest in an instant, drawing out a spray of blood. The streak of light then returned and landed beside Xiao Yan, transforming back into Little Yi's form. At this moment, Little Yi looked extremely weak, her aura faint and unstable. Xiao Yan was greatly alarmed. Before he could even ask what had happened, Little E had already turned into a weak flame and entered Xiao Yan's body. Sensing that he could still feel Little Yi's aura, Xiao Yan slightly relaxed. He then looked toward the giant ape, which had been pierced through the chest. The giant ape opened its mouth, but its roar grew weaker and weaker. Its vitality gradually faded as the sound of bones shattering echoed out, and it finally collapsed to the ground. Seeing the giant ape finally fall, Xiao Yan, whose nerves had relaxed, immediately felt endless pain spreading throughout his body. His right arm was twisted, and the intense pain made him gasp sharply. At the same time, he was filled with endless worry about Little Yi's injuries. Glancing at D.E., who was quietly guarding nearby, Xiao Yan gave a bitter smile. This puppet was still too weak. It simply could not contend with an 8-star magical beast. The giant ape could probably send it flying with a single slap, which was why he had not allowed D.E. to fight head-on. Strength defeating just an 8-star magical beast already costs so much. To complete the holy rank trial, it's simply impossible. Xiao Yan lay on the ground, staring at the sky densely covered by lush branches. Suddenly, his gaze fell upon his storage ring. Inside it, the primordial emperor qi obtained from the 9 Nether Emperor insect did not seem to have been fully absorbed yet. Xiao Yan's heart immediately began to race. He decided that once his injuries healed, he would use it. Thinking of this, a trace of excitement appeared on his twisted face despite the pain.